right now the flu is running rampant, and
Mm.
I'm sure it's in your area as it is in ours, and all ages of people are getting sick. And it is putting people out for weeks, not just days, but weeks. I mean, beyond 7 days. And
Mm.
so it's just, I want to take this time to, of course, be thankful that if we can't catch anything from each other, but we still get to gather. But I know there are places in life where you do gather with others. And so just be mindful of that, of sharing too close of space, because sometimes people will be sick and they don't have any symptoms yet. It might not, you might not get symptoms for a couple of days. So know that that's out there. Keep your space. Don't touch your face a lot. Drink plenty of fluids. Like I said, stay hydrated. Just try to get as much rest as possible. So there's my take care of you speech because I care. I don't want anybody to ever have to be sick. And one way we take care of ourselves is exercise. And
Come
so
on, Mom.
we are here today and we're going to uh, go over what we've already learned and keep working towards getting better at those movements. Today, we're not going to learn anything new. Well, I shouldn't say that. We're always able to learn something new, but we're not going to dive into our advanced six. We're going to stay at our basic six and we're going to practice those and we're going to talk about the little pieces and parts of those movements that we need to be familiar with and get them so we get the most out of the movement. So we set our bodies up. Um,
What are you doing, Sid?
so we want to strengthen our muscles in a way that helps keep us upright. So, also known as not falling. So, I'm just walking up and down, opening and closing my hands, pumping my arms, getting my body warmed up. It's a beautiful day outside. I did go outside today at lunch, but it's a little bit chilly. So I came back inside after my short walk and turned the heater back on. So I'm really warming up my body because yesterday I got hot, but today it was supposed to be warmer and somehow the air's cooler. I don't understand. But at least we don't have like what was it that we had, like 17 degrees or 16-degree low that we had a couple weeks ago. Whew, that was rough. All right, going to our warm-ups. We're in our upright posture, stable stance. Our feet are about shoulder width or hip width apart. A soft bend in my knees. Shoulders are relaxed. And I'm reminding myself to not hold my breath to continue to breathe. Beginning with my neck. Chin towards my chest. And really feel that stretch in the back of my neck. Also, welcome to February. This is our first class of this month. Other neck exercise starts out the same way. We follow one hand as we look towards that shoulder, feeling that stretch coming back to center, going side to side. The stretch of our neck here reminds me of our single whip. And so we'll talk about that in a minute, where our single whip, we feel that stretch in our neck, and this movement here prepares us for that move. Let's roll our shoulders. First, rolling forward, small circles, and then rolling back. Thank you again for those of y'all who have turned in your registration and waiver form. I have sent you the manicure set, the fingernail files, and clippers.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I hope you find those useful.
Of course.
I like stuff that's useful. Big shoulder circle. Great one to practice breath. Inhaling as we bring our hands up, exhaling as we push our hands down.
Better get over there and lay down. Better get over there and lay down.
For our spine, let's grab our ball here and then separate our hands. One pushes up and the other pushes down. Keeping those soft bends in our arms. Never locking our joints so that energy flows through our bodies. Even in our warm-ups, we go slow, smooth, and continuous. We never get in a hurry in our Tai Chi. We have to be in a hurry enough in our real life. Now side to side. That hand on top tells us the direction that we're turning, just like in waving hands and clouds. The hand that's on top, or the one that cross body like a sash, that's the direction that we turn. And this right here is that same torso movement as waving hands and clouds. And that's the one that we're going to get more practice on today. We're just fresh and learning that movement. Now for our lower body, starting with our hips, we'll shift our weight to one leg, heel forward, hands back, pause in the middle, and toe back, hands forward. So we're doing a cross-lateral movement, kind of a counterbalance effect. It's good for our brains.
Need help with that?
That's one reason why that is so difficult to do. It seems like it should be so easy to put your heel forward and your hands back and then switch. Like it seems like it should be easy. But the reason it's not is because it's just working our brain. We're making it do opposites. And our body wants to do the same thing. It wants to do this.
Yeah, together.
Doing opposite is what helps was one thing that helps our exercise in itself, no matter what movement, is good for our brains. Side to side, tapping that foot out. felt myself kind of speeding up. So I'm making myself I'm being more conscious about slow, not getting in a hurry. For our knees, again, cross lateral movements. Punch and tap that foot out. Shift, lift, tap and punch. Might take a second before you lift that foot just to make sure that weight is properly over top of, your hip is over top of your knee is over top of your ankle. So you have that line that is more stable for you to stand. It doesn't put any unnecessary pressure on your joints.
Don't worry about the last one.
Already got confused.
It's that cross lateral movement, isn't it? It just tests the brain. And something that may be helpful is to keep your loose fist on your hips and tap your toe out and get it in place, then punch that opposite hand.
Yeah, that's better.
So do it one and then place. And then once you get a feel for that, or you might just stay there forever. It's not necessary to do it at the same time. So place one, and you might place your arm first and then your feet. For some reason, I feel like it's easier to place your foot first, but you might think opposite. All right, now we're going to step out. So very small step. And we're going to talk about that with our waving hands and clouds, and that our steps are very small. So we're not out here stepping way far out. We're taking that small step and then shifting forward. And you see how my back foot stays on the floor, and that helps me stay grounded. Also, my body remains upright. Even when I shift the weight forward, I'm not leaning into the movement. Once I start leaning, then I start going towards falling. So I want to be conscious of, there's just all kinds of things going on. I want to be conscious of my step being fairly small. I want to stay upright. When I shift the weight forward, I'm not shifting all of my weight forward, but I still have some weight on this back leg, but I keep that back heel grounded. So I'm upright. My feet are both grounded on the floor as I shift a little weight forward, and then I shift all the way back so I can move my feet side by side. So it's a weight shift, a small step, both feet grounded, staying upright as I shift. Punch, opposite hand. Bring it back and side by side. So that's what it looks like from the side. It's a very small step. So shift, step, shift and punch, bring it back, side by side. So you see we're shifting weight side to side, and we're shifting weight front and back. So we have a lot of weight shifting happening in just this one move. But when we break things down and try to simplify what we do, this is a movement that can serve you in lots of ways with all the weight transfer. Cross-lateral movements, being grounded, testing how you keep your body upright. So I really like that movement for our knees. Let's do it on one more on each side.
Okay.
I think I've talked more than I've actually done it. Take your time shifting. in making those changes. All right, now for our ankles. So we'll shift the weight again and heel, toe, just rocking that foot. I'm noticing a big difference between this morning when I did this move and this afternoon. This morning my ankle was a lot more stiff. So it's good that I feel my ankle to have a movement. So that should encourage us to do these movements more than just one time a week for sure, but quite possibly more than one time a day. Now let's go side to side. So big toe, little toe. Switch. Little toe, big toe. And I'm really pushing my ankle joint to turn. Just working out some of that stiffness, a little bit of tension, but just trying to increase my mobility in my ankle. Having strength and mobility in my ankle will serve me and serve you if you work on that. If you kind of turn your ankle to a hole or, somehow get in an uneven surface where your ankle kind of twists, having strength and mobility helps you recover from that and not fall or not continue to turn that ankle and have a bigger problem. So warming up our joints is good. Strengthening our muscles through Tai Chi is good. It all helps keep us from falling. All right, so we're going to go through our basic 6 movements. We've learned what they are. The first one, commencement, comes to an open and close. Single whip to the right. Waving hands in clouds to the right. Open and close. Single whip to the left. And waving hands in clouds to the left. Open and close, and then close it out. So those are our 6 moves. And you may write those down on a list and have those in front of you so that you don't have to think about what's next while you're in that learning phase. And you'll have it to rely on, just like my little poster with our waving hands in clouds movement. So let's go through our basic 6. Let me talk you through it. Starting with that upright posture, weight on both legs.
Look at her. Tell me if I'm doing what she's doing.
All right, here we go. And commence. Hands come up and down, shift right. Place the left foot out. Hands come in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward. Hands come back. Open and close. Single whip. Shift left. Step right. Adjust weight. Push. Turn. Separate. Eyes follow our left hand. Shift left. Bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn.
Thank you.
Step.
Oh.
Turn. Shift. Step. Switch. Turn. Now come to the middle for open and close. Single whip to the left. Shift right. Step left. Adjust weight. Push. Turn. Separate. Eyes follow your right hand. Shift right, bring that left foot, left hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, switch, step, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, and to the middle for open and close. Any questions about any of those moves? All right, good job. Well, if you decide you have some, feel free to talk out and ask if you need clarifications on any type of hand movement, foot placement, anything you might have questions on. I know sometimes on virtual, it may be hard to see some of the details, so never feel afraid to ask. I'm happy to clarify. So that was slow talking you through it. So now I'm going to do the movements. We're going to do it slowly, but I'm just going to call out the name of the movement. All right, here we go. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close, and close it out. All right, this time I'm gonna turn around and let you see it from behind. Now that you're maybe more familiar with what's going on with my hands. That's the problem with turning around. You can't see my hands, but it may be easier for you to follow. So remember, when we do our movements, we start with commencement. We single whip and wave hands in clouds to the right, come and do open and close, and then single whip and wave hands in clouds to the left and close with an open and close. So here we go. And commence. Hands come up, down, shift right. Step left, hands come in and up. Shift left as they go out, right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip. Shift left, step right, adjust weight. Push, turn, separate, eyes follow your left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot, right hand back, waving hands in clouds. Step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, and finally shift, step, switch, turn, and back to the middle for open and close. Now to the left side, single whip, shift right, step left, adjust weight, push, turn, separate, eyes follow our right hand. Shift right, bring that left foot, left hand back, waving hands and clouds. Step, switch, turn. Shift, 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 step, switch, turn, and to the middle, open and close. Close it out. All right, this time, not talking you through it, just saying the names of the movements. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Open, close. Close it out. How was that? You feel yourself getting better and better each time?
Yes.
Sometimes.
That's our goal.
Sometimes.
So that's our goal, is to get better each time. And we want to have a better understanding of the moves that we learned all the pieces and parts of. And part of that understanding is taking our principle and make sure we're following the principle of the movement. And so, or of Tai Chi. So we're going to take slow, smooth, and continuous. Okay?
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, when we're doing the switch and turn, do you hold your fingers relaxed? You know, still?
Yeah, my fingers are very relaxed. It's kind of like this. It's just, if I were to have them, tight, they'd be more like this, but they're just loose and out there. So they're open, but, there's just,
Okay.
there's not there's no stiffness to my hands. They're just kind of loose and loosely open.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. So, slow, smooth, and continuous. Okay, that's 3 words. So, let's do our movement, but let's just think slow. Can we think slow and smooth? We can think slow and smooth. And by slow, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about the pace. We're not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry. But smooth is the corners of the movement, so when we come up and down and in. There's no like sharp turns to that. It's smooth, right? There's the smoothness, like a rock that's been in the river and the water's just hit it and it's just smooth. It's not rigid anymore. No corners. So slow and smooth. That's what we want to think about as we're doing our movements this time, is being slow and smooth. Now, as we learn them better and better. So here we go. And commence. Slow and smooth. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. When I think smooth, I think circle and not square. So all of our movements feel more like a circle than a square. Now I've lost count, so we're going to pretend this is 5 when it may be 7. Open, close. Single whip. Open, close. So you may have noticed that looked a little different, because when I first teach you, I teach you so choppy, so not smooth, so sharp, because it's very 1, do this, 2, do this, 3, do this. I got somebody coming in. So you may have noticed, especially in waving hands in clouds, the more smooth nature. And so what I mean by that is when we very first do and learn waving hands in clouds, it's our 4 words, right? It's step, it's switch, it's turn, it's shift, it's step, it's, you see, it almost looks like a robot. Even though we don't have tension in our hands, it's not smooth, is it? It's very sharp, because we're just learning all the pieces and parts. So go from that to making it smooth to where it looks more like this. You see how my hands, see, it looks more like a circle or an oval, really. It looks more like an oval now than a square. So instead of going down, up, turn, down, up, turn, down, up, you know, that's more like a square. But if we make it smoother, then we're more like an oval. See that? So if our word is smooth, we're thinking oval instead of square. But we have to know that we bring this down and bring this up and bring this over. We have to know those pieces before we can smooth it up. So y'all know that people will take a block of wood and they will whittle something out of it. I mean, they will make the most beautiful pieces of art out of a block of wood. So a block of wood is very square. It's very harsh. It's got corners and sides. And when they very first start chipping away at it, it's kind of rough. But then before you know it, they smooth edges. They've used the sandpaper, and then you can rub your finger across it, and it wouldn't even give you a splinter. That takes time. It's not going to happen just overnight. You're not going to take a block of wood and make it a smooth piece of work just like that. And that's how it is in Tai Chi. Take your time in smoothing it out. But you have to know your parameters, your pieces and parts of the movement so that you know how to smooth them out. But that's our goal, because in our principles, in movement control, slow, smooth, and continuous. Can you tell me who just came in?
Irene Hunter.
Okay, I didn't catch your face.
I made it back home.
And Jennifer Elmira is with me today.
Oh, okay, very good. Thank you for letting me know. I can add her while I'm writing this down. We got us a good group. So I told y'all to only focus on slow and smooth, but you couldn't help but be continuous, because with smooth comes continuous. There's no corner to stop at. So I kind of tricked you into doing all three, but only told you to focus on slow and smooth. But slow, smooth, and continuous is our goal, so that when we come up, we don't just stop it up. We immediately come back down. We immediately come in. We immediately come up and out and in. There's never a sharp or stopping point. Slow, smooth, continuous. So let's do it again, thinking slow, smooth, and continuous. All right, here we go. And commence. Open, close, sorry. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. There's our oval we're starting. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. So that's starting to feel more and more Tai Chi-like. Because when we first learn it, it's very choppy and there's a whole lot of things going on in our head because we're trying to figure out what's next and think about what I'm even talking about. So that's, we're making that journey towards movement control in that Tai Chi, slow, smooth, continuous. Now, you may have noticed too that I paired step and switch together. In the name of continuous, I didn't go, hold on, let me get here. Okay. I didn't go step, switch, turn, shift. You see how square and non-continuous that is. Instead, I did, what did I do? Step and switch, turn, shift, step and switch, So I
Right.
paired these together to help it be more smooth and continuous. So as soon as I switched, I immediately started turning. Step and switch together. See, that made it more smooth and continuous. So this movement alone, waving hands in clouds, is very calming of the nerve.
Yes, I agree.
I I had a girl years ago. She was in her early 20s. She was in college, and college was very stressful for her. And she would study and she would get really worked up. And so, in taking my Tai Chi class, she learned to step back. I would love to know what she's doing these days because at this point, it's probably been 10 years since that class. So, she's probably in her 30s now. So, she would take a pause on her studies and she would do just waving hands in clouds. She didn't worry about doing any other movement. She just did waving hands in clouds, and she talked about how it would calm her. And so you can see where it's just easy to just relax and breathe and step and just go into that circular motion. Now, if the stepping is too much, if you feel like too much is going on and you have that need for calm, that reduction of anxiety, you can sit, okay, pretend I'm sitting. I'm not going to do anything with my legs, and I can just simply do the hand part where I turn, switch, turn. And breathe as I go side to side. And if you're seated, you can even close your eyes and just stay in that moment of breath and the circular of your hands. If you remember Karate Kid and you remember wax on, wax off,
Uh-huh.
wax on. This is very much like wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Wax on, wax off. So it's very meditative. And that's why it reduces stress and anxiety because of that circular and meditative type movement. And that's one reason why they call Tai Chi meditation and movement. All right, now let's talk about the same exact movements and think about our posture. I always have this tendency to want to lean when I shift weight forward. And so I have to remind myself to keep that upright posture, to always have almost like books are sitting on top of my head. I have that upright posture throughout my movements. And if I make a habit of always having this good upright posture, then my weight is centered over my feet, my shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. Here is my weight. Now, when I lean, it's all messed up. When I lean, I feel gravity trying to throw me to the floor. So I want to make a habit of having good posture, and it lessens my chance of falls. So shifting weight where it's not that you're fighting yourself, but you're reminding yourself to not go with the weight shift. Having the habit of keeping upright posture with the weight shift helps you have better balance, helps you not fall. So we practice our Tai Chi moves specifically thinking about upright posture. And that's especially if you have that tendency to want to lean forward. I do, especially in our advanced 6 moves. I want to lean forward with that push because in our advanced moves, is kind of like a fight. You know, we're pushing at somebody, we're punching at somebody. And whenever you were really in a fight, you would go at them with that punch. So you would lean into it. But that's not what we're trying to do here. We're really not fighting. So we remind ourselves to have upright posture as we do our movement. So this time, think upright posture. Okay, so here we go. Deep breath. Here we go. And commence. Really good posture all the way through. Open and close. Single whip. You just thought you had good posture before, but now it's even better somehow. Waving hands in clouds. So we're still doing slow, smooth, and continuous, but our focus right now in our brain is upright posture. When you learn these moves, you can do these moves and have all these different focuses. And so that's why I wanted us to learn them first and then really dive into and practice them with principle. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Good posture. No tension in the shoulder. Meditation and movement. Breathing. Gentle, fluid movements. Relaxed and slow tempo. Open and close. But posture was the name of our game there. Let me turn around and let's do it this way. Thinking good posture. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. And close it out. So do you feel like one of those girls that carries fruit on her head? Like you're so good at posture that you can carry fruit on your head
Not yet.
or take all your books back to the library with them on your head? But I felt even a better sense of my posture that time because I focused on it. And so that's a good way to practice our Tai Chi is to take our principles and think about them one at a time. The last principle that I want to talk about today in focusing with our movements is weight transfer. Now, let me back up because I said earlier, we're going to talk about it in a minute. On this neck movement right here, the one where we go side to side, you remember I said this one is preparing us for single whip. And I want y'all to really think about just single whip right now with that. So here we're pushing those hands out. And when we separate them and our head is following that hand, does that not feel the same as? So see, I wanted to point that out, that our warm up of our neck gets us ready for that single whip
Uh-huh.
movement. Just like when we do waving hands and clouds, it's reminiscent of our spinal warm-up where we go side to side. And we switch our hands, and the hand that's on top, that's our direction. Switch, that's our direction. Okay? Same thing, waving hands and clouds. That's our direction. Switch, that's our direction. So those two movements match up to our Tai Chi. Now, in terms of weight shifting, you know, when we go to start doing our warm-ups for our hips and our knees, we're doing a lot of weight shifting, side to side, front to back, or we're simply holding weight on one leg while we move that other leg. That's everything that we're doing in our Tai Chi move. So that goes right into what I wanted us to focus on now, which is weight transfer. Now, if I had told you that, hi, welcome to Tai Chi class, we're going to be standing on one leg for an hour every week. Would you want to do that?
No.
No. You probably would say, no, I can't do that. I'm not a flamingo. That doesn't even sound like a good time. We just gonna stand like this. Okay, 30 minutes. Okay, set the timer. Okay, now switch legs. Okay, set the timer. 30 minutes. Okay, time's up. No, that would not be a good class, and it really wouldn't be a good activity. But do you know, and you may have fallen, and I might have had to call 911 to 3 or 4 different cities. So that is, we don't do that, but guess what? We do that. We shift weight to one leg for an hour. We do it. The whole hour that's what we're doing. If you think about it, when we do commencement, what do? We shift our weight to the right. Well, what are we doing? We're standing here with weight on one leg. We put that foot out there. What are we doing? We're still out holding weight on this one leg. We shift weight to our left foot. What are we doing? Holding weight on this one leg. We bring this weight forward. Well, we don't immediately give it weight. So what are we still doing? Holding weight on that one leg. So all the way through our movement, we are holding weight on one leg. Every now and again, we'll adjust weight and we'll have weight on both legs at the same time. But throughout our Tai Chi movement, we're shifting weight onto one leg. And so I want us to do this movement, all of our movements again, and I want you to think about weight being on one leg. Now, you have that other leg there for support. You have a widened stance. You have that good posture. So you're in the position to put weight on that other foot at any time that you feel unbalanced, right? So, but I do want us to go through it thinking about weight on one leg. Okay, so here we go. And commence.
What is she doing, Mom?
Open, close. Single whip. Look at that. Weight on one leg.
Let's watch.
Waving hands and clouds. We step. We shift it to one leg.
To relaxing it.
And close. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. Did you see that? We were having weight on one leg, over and over. Now, in thinking about weight transfer and weight on one leg, I didn't think so much about my posture. I didn't think so much about slow, smooth, and continuous. But I bet you I was slow, smooth, and continuous. And I bet you that I still had good posture. That's because I practice that and practice it to where that's how I do Tai Chi. So even though I wasn't thinking about it, I was doing it because that's what I practice. So hopefully you learned your moves a little better today and thought about them not just in terms of how to do commencement, which leg to step with, or which how to put our hands out and in, and at what order and what time compared to what's going on with our feet. Not just the movement itself, but our principle. And so we want to think about doing it in principle because we want all the benefits that we can get out of Tai Chi, and we have to do them in our principles to get the benefits. All right, does anybody have any questions?
I think this was a good lesson today.
Miss Linda, as I was doing this lesson today, thank you for saying that because you've been to a lot of my lessons. But as I was doing it today, I was thinking, I'm saying some good stuff today. I got to mark this lesson with a big star. Like, this is a good one. So
It's a little more easier for me.
good. That's what I like to hear. And it really is about repetition and practice. But what I also want you to understand why we do it. All right, so let's give ourselves a fist massage with the effort to raise those knees high. My pants don't have a lot of stretch in them today, so I can't lift my knees real high. The stretch won't allow me to. So I'm not lifting them as high as I usually can. It bees like that sometimes, Miss Nora. All right, gather tension and then let it go. Doesn't it feel so much better to let it go? Gather and release. We don't want to hold tension. Tension causes pain. We don't want pain. Let it go. Tense and release. Big shoulder circle. Push down. Slow, smooth, and continuous. We take our right fist, and it's always a loose fist, like we're holding an egg we don't want to break. That represents our strength. We have our left fingers all together, representing our friendship, our thumb in representing our humility. We put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste.
Very good, y'all.
Good class. Good class.
Well, good.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. It'll be on recording if you want to rewatch it. I'm going to put a star on it to make sure we remember. I did a good job this time on this Not that I do a bad job other times, but I was proud of the points I made today. Sometimes we got to spend our time learning like the exactness of each move, and then sometimes we go a different direction. Next week, we'll start being introduced to single whip, which is the first move in our advanced move. So we'll do this, we'll maintain the practice of basic 6, but we'll start learning more advanced moves. This is week 5. We have 11 weeks to go. Just imagine how much we can learn.
Wow.
All right. But y'all let me know if you have any questions or if you need anything from me, okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Love y'all.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait,
Ma'am,
wait.
did you say wait?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I heard wait.